Very good evening to all of you. In the last class I discussed on the topic pressure belts of the atmosphere, but today I will discuss on the topic wind's direction and related laws. After all, how winds blow in the atmospheric system and what is factor which affect the wind's direction. Let's know what is wind. The general movement of air from high pressure to low pressure is called wind. And what factor affect the wind's direction? Factors. First factor is Coriolis force and second factor is rotation of the earth. The factor which affect the wind's direction is Coriolis force and rotation of the earth, and also frictional force. Frictional force and Coriolis force, rotation of the earth, rotation of the earth, and frictional force. Frictional force. First factor is Coriolis force, rotation of the earth, and frictional force, and also centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. Mainly, there are four factors which affect the wind's direction: Coriolis force, rotation of the earth, frictional force, and also centrifugal force. What is Coriolis force? Due to Coriolis force, the wind's direction, the winds blow counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. Let's know what is Coriolis force. What is Coriolis force? Coriolis force was observed and explained by G.G. Coriolis. Coriolis force was observed and explained by G.G. Coriolis for the first time. G.G. Coriolis for the first time. And if we talk about this force, it is not in a real sense a force, but an effect of the rotation of the earth. Coriolis force is not a force in itself, but an effect of the rotation of the earth. Effect of the rotation of the earth. Rotation of the earth. And Coriolis force also called deflection force. Coriolis force also called deflection force. Deflection force. Coriolis force also called deflection force, and it is maximum at the poles and minimum at the equator, or you can say zero at the equator. After all, how Coriolis force maximum at the pole and minimum at the equator? Due to rotation of the earth, due to minimum rotation of the earth at the poles, Coriolis force is maximum, and due to higher rotation of the earth at the equator, the Coriolis force is minimum. Let's know with an example, after all, how Coriolis force is maximum at the poles and minimum at the equator. Suppose that you stand here at the pole point A and you want to throw a ball at the point B, which is an equator, which is at the equator. Then you also know that the earth is rotating, west to east, the earth rotating west to east, and when you want to throw the ball at the equator, then you bend towards in the opposite direction of the rotation of the earth, like this. You bend your right, or you can say in opposite direction of the rotation of the earth. Opposite direction of the earth. This is called Coriolis force. This is called Coriolis force. When when you at the subtropical, you stand at the subtropical high pressure belt. When you stand at the subtropical high pressure belt and want to throw a ball from here to the equator at the point B, then you bend opposite direction of rotation of the earth less than before when you stood at the pole. Suppose that we stand here subtropical high pressure belt at the point C and want to throw a ball at the point B. Then due to rotation of the earth, we bend towards in the opposite direction of rotation of the earth. Here the bending, our bending is less than before, and ball fall here, not here at the point B. What are you see that the Coriolis force is maximum at the pole and minimum towards the equator. And after all, let's know what is Farrell's law. The wind deflected according to Farrell's law. Farrell gave his concept which is called Farrell's law. According to this law, if you stand in the direction from where winds are coming, if you stand with your back to the wind, or you can say if you stand with your back to the wind from where winds are coming, then wind deflected to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Suppose that you stand here and winds are coming from this direction, then winds bend at the right in the northern hemisphere and left in the southern hemisphere. And for wind's direction, Bois-Violet also gave his law. Bois-Violet law. Let's know Bois-Violet law. Bois-Violet law. He was a meteorologist. Bois-Violet was a meteorologist, and he proposed his law of wind direction. According to Bois-Violet, if you stand with your back to the wind, then there will be low pressure to your left. There will be low pressure to your left and high pressure to your right. Suppose that you stand here and winds are coming from here, and there will be low pressure to your left and high pressure to your right. High pressure to your left. According to this law, if you stand with your back to the wind from where winds are coming, then winds deflected to your right in the northern hemisphere, and also in the northern hemisphere there will be high pressure to your right and low pressure to your left. And if you stand in the southern hemisphere, then there will be low pressure to your right and high pressure to your left. This is Boyle's Ballot law. And after all, let's know what is windward slope and leeward slope. What is windward slope and leeward slope? Windward slope and leeward slope. Windward slope or onward slope. Onward slope. Suppose here is a hill. Here is a hill. The slope of the ground surface. The slope of the ground surface. The slope of the ground surface or hill. The slope of the ground surface or a hill which facing the wind is called windward slope. Windward slope. Windward slope. Ground surface and hill surface. The slope of the ground surface or hill which facing the wind is called windward slope, and opposite to that slope is called leeward slope. Leeward slope. This slope is called leeward slope and this slope is called windward slope, because this is facing the winds and here is opposite slope of this slope, and it called leeward slope.